ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the CD Racoola show. This is a big day on the show, as we finally hit the century mark. We made it to 100 episodes. I can't believe it. Woohoo! Goody for me. Okay, now we continue on with the good work today as we review the 2002 hit film, The Ring. This film, of course, was a remake of the 1998 Japanese film Ring. The film stars Naomi Watts as Rachel Keller, who is investigating a videotape that kills you within 7 days of watching it. See, all you boys and girlies out there in YouTube land, your mommies always told you TV would rot your little brain. But in this case, it kills your brain. Rachel views the tape, unfortunately for her, and makes a copy to show her ex-boyfriend. And he also watches the tape. Her little son, played by David Dorfman, also gets his little greasy hands on the tape and watches it, getting the call with the unknown voice saying, 7 days. Be honest, how many of you out there in YouTube land were calling your friends in 2002 and whispering 7 days into the phone, then hanging up? I don't even remember if we had caller ID in 2002, so probably could have been a little scary, if you didn't know who was from, whatever, to do that to somebody. I certainly would be scared, if I had any friends. It's amazing how lonely a vampire's life can be when you drain people dry for a living. Straying a little off course from The Ring here, but all this cursed videotape chatter has me wanting to review the film VHS. In fact, let me jot a little note to myself real quick, and then we'll get back to The Ring, I promise. Note to self, review the film VHS. Also, might think about putting a no swimming sign up next to the pond. Neighborhood kitties keep going swimming and disappearing in it. I don't know why. Or do I? Anywho, back to The Ring here. Okay, so let's sit down and chat about what I think is one of the most underrated horror characters of all time, Samara, the presence that haunts the Ring films. Samara supposedly drowned in a well, was drowned in a well by her parents because she was simply too evil to live. Sounds like me. And that's where the ring comes from. She's looking up from the bottom of the well and sees the ring on the well. Samara has a really cool look with long black stringy hair covering up her face and just an overall kind of wet look. And you would look like that too if you were drowned in a well, She puts her hair over her face because, let's be honest here, she ugly. She really ugly, and unfortunately for her, she also has a terrible personality to boot. When she scares you to death, you look like this. Yikes. One of the greatest scenes, and one of the scenes that has become iconic in horror, is her coming out of the well and then walking towards the viewer on the TV, then actually coming out of the screen. Very creepy and legendary scene. I love it mucho. Another thing I love about this film was that it doesn't end happily. no happy endings for you. And spoiler approaching, but the only way to escape the evil Samara's wrath is to make a copy of the cursed tape and show someone else, thus perpetuating the curse. But if you show someone else, just to save your own skin, your own hide, you know deep down in your little black hearts that you have doomed them to a dastardly fate at the hands of Samara. And that is just what happens in this film when the reporter Rachel shows the video to her ex-boyfriend Noah. And of course, Samara does her good work and she scares him half to death. Actually, she scares him all the way to death. It's a lot of fun, and the gang gets back together in this film for Ring 2. Me likey Ring 2 also. I do think that this film is very, very scary, and deservedly so will be receiving rather high marks on the old Scarometer. I would like to thank you for joining me here on the 100th episode of the CD Racoola Show. And if you could come out of your well, crawl to your TV screen, and hit the subscribe button, I would be most grateful. But don't get any water on the computer. Be sure to dry off first. Use a towel, goodness gracious. Please join me next episode on the show when I review one of my top 5 scariest movies of all time. It's one of my favorites. The 1992 film Bram Stoker's Dracula. You knew I was going to do an episode on that one. You just knew it. So until next time, if you're watching this, you have 7 days. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.